Alright guys, bear with me just a moment. We're going to get started here very quick. Going to do a quick sound test, and then we'll be live. Test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Sounds pretty good to me. Alright, so what's going on guys? My name is Creighton Piper. I'm with CryptoAnswers.net. This is my third live stream event via Facebook. I'm sorry, via YouTube at least. Generally, we have been streaming on Facebook, but for various reasons that I'm not going to bother mentioning, we are migrating to YouTube tonight. So anyways, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the price action that we are seeing as of today, the last 24 hours. We'll go over some news, and then we will take questions. Whatever you guys want to know, just kind of throw in the questions and comments section there, and I will pull it up and answer any questions that you happen to have. So let's get started. Uh, I'm sure you guys have been following the price of Bitcoin pretty closely as of late. What was it, Friday? We dropped like a rock from just below 4,000 down to 3,000. We rebounded all the way back up to 3,800, and pretty much since then, for the last at least all weekend actually, it's been doing this for about 2 days. We've been flat. We've been fluctuating between 3,600 and 3,800, and we're almost back up to 3,800 right now. Over the past 30 minutes, maybe an hour, we've been slowly going up back towards that um, $3,800 figure. And as of now, the whole market is looking pretty healthy. We're actually sitting just below, this is the 50-day moving average right here. As you can see, we pretty much hit it twice already and then bounced off of it. We're progressing back up towards it right now. The 50-day moving average sits at 39.50. So if we can finally break that $3,800 figure, the next resistance level will be the 50-day moving average. Now, I've said this a couple times before, usually in my Facebook stream, so I don't know if anyone that is tuning in here right now is going to remember me saying this. I don't think you're in my other streams. But um, the news is already starting to change. The headlines are already starting to change. For the past 2 weeks, all month, it's been all China. It's been all ICO bans, exchange bans. Jamie Dimon opened his big fat mouth and started bashing Bitcoin, and then he bought a whole bunch of it. Which, by the way, I kind of want to follow up on that. I read some articles today that said he did not buy the currency directly, and that's kind of what I suspected from the get-go. I mean, that would just be too obvious, and he would take too much of a. I think J.P. Morgan Chase would take too much of a backlash over that. So what happened is it was a segment of J.P. Morgan that actually purchased the, and it wasn't even a direct purchase of Bitcoin. It was an indirect purchase of Bitcoin. Actually, it was more of like an ETF type thing, right? And it was purchased by J.P. Morgan on behalf of its investors. At least that is the story. It could be a cover story. I don't know. I don't think we're quite to the bottom of that story completely. But supposedly it was purchased on behalf of JP Morgan's investors, and JP Morgan itself does not actually hold a stake. So I just wanted to follow up on that because in my previous streams, I was bashing Jamie Dimon, I'm sorry. I was bashing Jamie Dimon pretty hard about calling it a scam, calling it a fraud, and then buying it. So I just wanted to clear the air there. But anyways, so like I said, we're already starting to see more headlines like this, right? And this is what I've been talking about. China's going to fade out of the headlines, and all these updates that we've been waiting for here late September and early October. That's what's going to be in the headlines, and it's going to create a whole new wave of excitement for cryptocurrency, and that's going to push the price upwards. I think this right here is just the beginning of it. Like I said, everything is green right now. Bitcoin up almost 4%, Ethereum up almost 6.5%, blah, blah, blah. Everything's green. Everything's looking pretty solid right now. So anyways, Ethereum right now is outpacing Bitcoin. The reason for that, I think, is because of the Metropolis hard fork being in such it's in the near future, right? And by near future, I mean tomorrow. Uh, the first part of the Metropolis hard fork is it's going to come in two parts. There's going to be two hard forks actually. The first half is called Byzantium. The second part is called Constantinople. So what we're looking at right now is the Byzantium hard fork, and it actually makes landfall on the testnet tomorrow, or whenever the 1.7 millionth block is mined. That's when it goes live on the testnet. It's projected to be tomorrow. I think it could be as late as Tuesday, but I think it'll happen tomorrow, September the 18th. So, I mean, the headlines have been pretty sparse over the weekend, and so has the trading. If we go back over here and look at the trading volume, I mean, this is Friday. This when everything crashed and then we spiked back up to 3,800, and I'm pretty sure that was an all-time record for trading volume for Bitcoin. And now since then, I mean, we're like a third or a fourth of that trading volume. So trading has been pretty sparse over the weekend, as have the headlines. And I think come Monday, everyone gets back to work, everyone starts generating this news, and the trading volume should go up, the volatility should go up, and so should the price. So I'm very much looking forward to that for sure. So don't forget, if you guys have questions or comments, please, even if it's negative, I don't care. Throw it in the comments section, and I'll handle that on a case-by-case basis here. So anyways, let me take you to cryptoanswers.net. This is the site that I'm working with. This is the most recent article we posted here. It's about Digital Town. We interviewed the CEO. His name is Robert Monster, and he's right in the middle of a project called Smart Cities, in which he turns eventually every city. That's the theory, anyways. They're trying to turn all these cities into smart cities, and when I say that, they're building a website for each city. Each website has its own digital wallet. You're gonna be able to go to the site that corresponds to wherever you live, and you sign up for it. Now, if you verify your information and you are a citizen of that city, then you will be able to participate in the airdrop. They will be airdropping their currency. I didn't ask him in the interview what it's called. That's foolish on my part, so I apologize. I'm sure we'd all like to know what the currency is called, but we're just gonna have to wait. Um, Anyways, you're going to be airdropping that currency in the beginning of 2018. And as a matter of fact, I think it's going live here pretty soon in some of the bigger cities. I know San Antonio was one of them because I asked them about it specifically in the interview, and that's going to be happening late October, early November. So, but most everything is going to go live in 2018. Anyways, pretty interesting project. I I'm still not completely behind it, but it is definitely interesting. If you look up Digital Town, their stock is traded, it is publicly traded, and it's been suffering a little bit lately. I actually asked him in the interview if there was a correlation there. I mean, obviously, he is now getting into the whole blockchain sphere, and I was curious if there was a correlation, and as it turns out, he thinks there is not. And he thinks the reason why the share price has been going down as of late is just because the project really has just started. There's no revenue stream, and so no one is really, because there's no revenue stream, there's no value in the company. And that's why the share price has been falling. Hopefully, in theory at least, that'll turn around early 2018. So with that said, I would like to show you another project that we're going to be covering here pretty soon. This is Avari. I think that is how you pronounce that. EVAREI.com/Avaria. And that's how you spell Avaria. Anyways, this is going to be, they're going to launch their ICO. I think it's going to be called like Avaria coin. Um, and this revolves around real estate, right? So there's already a couple of different altcoins that are real estate based, real estate backed. Kex coin is the one. If you keep track of them at all, Kex coin is probably first and foremost in your mind. It just went live. The ICO just went live Friday. I'm pretty sure it was, and it's actually backed by Chris Comey. He has his own YouTube channel. It's a very good, very thorough and respected YouTube channel, and he actually backs that project. So I'm curious to speak with the CEO of this project. Man, I forget his name, but we're going to be interviewing him sometime this week. As soon as we do, we'll post that here on cryptoanswers.net, and you guys will be able to view that and get the inside scoop on Avarium and we'll be comparing it to the other existing real estate coins just to see if it's going to be worth it, if it's going to have something to offer that the existing coins and existing companies do not. So that'll be pretty interesting. Check the. All right, so we still haven't reached that $3,800 threshold. Let me grab a drink real quick. Let's see what else is worth mentioning on this list. So another thing I've been talking about is how Ethereum was actually falling faster than Bitcoin. It got hit harder during this pullback, and I couldn't figure that out. I still haven't figured it out. It blew my mind, but it almost seems like that's kind of shifting right now because as you can see, Bitcoin is up less than 4%. Ethereum is up 7%, 6.98, pretty close to 7. We're almost up to $270. Bitcoin, since we've been doing this live stream, has been flat, whereas Ethereum went from like 264 to almost 268 now. So I think the reason for this is tomorrow's release of Ethereum, or I'm sorry, Byzantium on the testnet. Now, obviously, it's just kind of a testing phase. It won't actually go live until the 8th of October. So that gives them a couple weeks to work out the kinks before it goes fully live, and that's a good thing. But early October is what you really want to keep an eye on there, and that's when the positive news I think will really come full force, especially if the testing goes well. So more to follow on that. Now let's see what else we can talk about here. Omise Go. Omise Go has really been drawing a lot of attention here recently. The project is pretty promising. I mean, the price of Omise Go was hit just as hard as the broader market during the pullback, but today it's looking pretty strong, up 6.5% almost. Bitcoin Cash still under that $500 crucial threshold. I don't even know if it'll ever retake it. I mean, it is trading pretty closely in line with Bitcoin, so I guess it probably will, but I'm not interested in Bitcoin Cash in the least. It's all about Ethereum, in my opinion. Monero, I just talked about this in last night's Facebook live stream. I did quite a bit of research on Kryptonite, that's their algorithm, and then their proof type, they use something called a crypto note as well. And ultimately, I decided I was not really a fan of Monero, at least not enough to justify its number 8 spot on the overall market cap. I don't understand it. The reason why I don't like the proof system, and I understand that it has a pretty long and successful history on the darknet, and I think that's why it has so many supporters. But where was it? Okay, this is talking about the proof system right here. Let me read you what it says. The only people with access to the whole set of data about a transaction are the sender or receiver of the transaction and the person who possesses one or both secret keys. So as soon as you make a transaction, both parties are going to essentially be given a secret key. And then you're both going to have information on each other that way, and that's how you can have faith that you're transacting with the right person, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I think this is a weakness. The reason being is it can kind of be manipulated. I'm gonna throw a scenario at you. Let's say you are a drug dealer and you use Monero as your preferred uh, transaction vehicle, right? You're all about Monero because it is a privacy coin. That's what it's known for, and it is very private. It has a pretty good algorithm, but here's the thing. Let's say the FBI is at you. They're trying to crack down on you and your drug ring, and they know because they have an insider. They know that you use Monero. They know to expect it, and so here they are. They're going to set up a transaction. Um, Maybe you're really sneaky about how you actually did the physical exchange of the drugs. You hid them somewhere, and then you told them how to get there. So you were never on the spot. They can't connect you to the drugs in that respect. But so now they're going to try to connect you to the transaction. So what they're going to do is they're going to do the transaction, give you their information, whatever. You do the transaction. Now, bam, they have your information because both of you share it. You share the secret keys. So, I mean, if anyone in this chat understands that system better than I do, if I have this wrong, please say something. Please correct me. I'm always willing to learn from those who are more intelligent than I am, I guess. But I'm pretty sure that's how it breaks down. So not really a huge fan of Monero in that respect. Um, I mean, it is a privacy coin, and privacy coins are they're the up and coming micro market within the broader crypto market. And that's because more and more we are becoming to realize that blockchain is not as private and foolproof. Sorry, it's not as private as we originally thought. Um, Transactions made via Bitcoin and Ethereum, Litecoin, all that stuff, they can actually be tracked back to the user. The IRS has been doing this. They're working with Chainalysis. They're developing software that can actually uh, target these people, find out who they are, and then prosecute them for tax evasion if it comes to that. So I would definitely recommend if you're not paying taxes on this stuff, um, I recommend starting to pay taxes at least. Um, Now here's the thing: the IRS was they were engaged in litigation with Coinbase. This is months back. I mean, it's still ongoing, but it started months ago. They were trying to get information from Coinbase on all of its users. And Coinbase, I got to hand it to them. They've been fighting a good fight. They've been having our backs. I'm a Coinbase user. Um, they've been in court. They've been in ongoing talks with the IRS. And finally, the IRS is backing down a little bit. Now they're only requesting information on on the whales, essentially. Anyone that has made or is making transactions in excess of $20,000. Now that's all they're interested in. So for most of us, for probably anyone that's listening to this live stream, I mean, have you made a transaction in excess of 20 grand? Probably not. Probably not. So as of right now, I mean, the issue isn't incredibly pressing, but still a good idea to pay your taxes so you don't end up in a legal bind. So taking a quick glance at the market again, Bitcoin's now at 4%. Ethereum just topped $270, still climbing. Now we're up almost 8% on the day. That's good, looking good, making me happy. We're still gonna have to conquer this 50-day moving average here. We are approaching it once more, and once we do that, actually let me go over here. So there's the 50-day moving average. It just crept up a dollar. It's at 39.51. Hopefully, we're going to be revisiting that here momentarily. If we do, if we get there and we do manage to crack it, then we're looking at that $4,000 threshold. It's a psychological level. It could present some psychological resistance. In the past, though, it hasn't. I mean, if you look back here, there's 4,000 right there. We passed that threshold pretty handily, all the way up to 43, almost 4,400, and then we dropped back down. Now, $4,000 did offer some support, so that's good. That's good, and it boosts my confidence that if we can surpass that level again, we'll be less likely to fall below it. So I guess that's good news for Bitcoin. So then if we do surpass the $4,000 level, then we're looking at the 21-day moving average. That's going to be the next level of resistance that we encounter. It has kind of I'm looking at that. If it draws a line straight across, that's where the resistance is going to be. There is kind of a level off right here at the same point, and then right here. So I would suspect that there will again be some resistance as we approach that $4,200 level. It'll probably take a pause there, consolidate between 4,000 and 4,200 before moving up towards our all-time high, and then, as I'm sure we're all hoping, moving and setting new all-time highs. So we'll just have to wait and see if that actually comes to fruition, and then I mean, starting Monday, we're already seeing it now. Positive news is hitting the headlines. It's going to start happening more and more. China's going to fade out of the headlines, and then it's going to be all about Byzantium and the testnet and the results of the testnet. And we'll start talking about SegWit 2x here again. Also, I don't think I've seen any headlines on that recently. Let's check. Yeah, nothing at all. But it's still a couple weeks off. I'm sure we'll start seeing some headlines here pretty soon, though. Let's see what news.bitcoin has for recent headlines. So this is old news. Oh, yes, India. All right, I definitely wanted to talk about India. Okay, so as as China is fading from the headlines, India is starting to enter the headlines. Um, they do represent substantial trade volume in the market, and so here they talked about opening their own bit like. I'm sorry, hold on, I'm getting confused here. There's a different reason why they were in the news. This is like the second reason why they're in the news. They moved from I think they were going to open their own exchange, and now they're actually looking at actually coming out with their own cryptocurrency, and it's going to be used as legal tender within their country. So then it'll be traded on the open market. It'll be available for everyone. And I mean, if that happens, I don't know. That'll be interesting. I don't know if it'll be good or bad for the broader market. Um, if it's going to be Ethereum based, probably good for Ethereum. And that's oh my goodness, so many of these new altcoins, new ICOs, new projects, they're all being they're all being based on Ethereum. So I think that's just one of many reasons why we're going to see a run up in Ethereum here in the near future. Not to mention all the positive news that's going to be in the headlines. So most of my holdings are Ethereum. I totally expected Ethereum to outpace Bitcoin already. It didn't happen. I've been wrong on that so far. Hopefully that's going to change. Hopefully, hopefully it will change. Um, let's see. Another thing I wanted to talk about was Japan because let's see if I can find the article. Japan trade volume crypto. Apparently, so China did represent a huge percentage of worldwide trade volume for Bitcoin and for cryptocurrency, and that's why when these headlines started coming about, talking about how China was banning ICOs and banning exchanges and all that, that's why it had such a negative effect on the price of Bitcoin and the entire crypto market. Um, I I want to say they were like 41% of the total volume market wide. I don't think this is exactly what I'm looking for. That is not what I'm looking for. So what happened is they did ban ICOs. They've started banning exchanges, and now all that trade volume it hasn't ceased, right? It didn't just go away. It migrated over to Japan. Now Japan is what can I search here? Japan number one trade volume Bitcoin. It was either number one or number two. When was this? Nope, that was like a month ago. Where did I find that article? I think it was actually it was a tweet on Twitter that I found. Um, really wish I could find it because it was a picture. It was proof. It showed the trade volume. And I don't know where to find that raw information for you guys. I guess at this point, I'm just gonna have to take my word for it. So yeah, all of the Chinese trade volume, it didn't just dry up and go away. Those people didn't say, "Oh no, the government started regulating our exchanges, so we're just gonna throw in the towel. We're just gonna give up on crypto." No. Now, Japanese exchanges are handling all that volume, and it's still there. So I'm sure that is just one more thing that's going to help boost the markets in the coming days. So again, going back to some of my previous streams on Facebook, um, I've been predicting $5,000 Bitcoin by the end of the month. I don't think that is far-fetched at all. It took us all of 11 hours or so to bounce off that $3,000 bottom all the way up to $3,800. If we can do that in one day, then we can certainly close the gap from almost 3,800 to 5,000 throughout the remainder of the month. I definitely believe that that's going to happen. Or, well, I'm sorry. I think there's a very good chance of that happening. And in my prediction by the end of the year, 10,000. I think we can very well see $10,000 Bitcoin, and then Ethereum is going to trade at least hand in hand with Bitcoin on that. So we go back now. Let's refresh this. CoinMarketCap.com. I don't know if you guys remember what the overall market cap was for the entire market when we hit $5,000 Bitcoin, like at the all-time high. It was about $178.5 billion. The low that we saw, the low we reached, when was it? Friday morning. When we reached the low on Friday morning, we were looking at just under 100 billion. Now we're sitting just under 127 billion US dollars for the overall market cap. Um, so it still represents, I mean, we're still 30% below where we were before, but that just gives you kind of a ballpark where we are in comparison to where we were before. As soon as we reach 180 billion market cap, there we go. We're back at all-time highs. Um, so I get asked quite often what my top altcoins are. So since there are no questions coming in right now, I'll just kind of manifest some out of thin air. Going back, drawing from recent and past Facebook live streams. Um, I'll go with my top three for right now, and that would be, where is it at? 10x. 10x is my number one. It's my number one holding right after Ethereum, and it's looking pretty good. The all-time, or well, the recent low was like a buck 30, buck 40. Let's take a look here real quick. Make sure I'm not getting this wrong. All right, so there we dip down to about, come on, let's do 1 month. All right, so we dip down to, it looks like 135. Now we're all the way back up to 11. So I mean that represents a pretty big retrace from that recent low. So 10x, in my opinion, is looking pretty good right now, just in terms of market cap, and it's ranked 26 overall. But if you guys have not researched the CEO and all of the backers of this project, it's a pretty brilliant team. The CEO, what's his name? Why can I not remember his name? He used to be a medical doctor. Dr. Oh my goodness, 10x CEO, Dr. Julian Hosp. There you go, Dr. Julian Hosp. You should look him up on YouTube. Listen to what he has to say about his own project. He has quite a few things planned, and he's very, very active. I follow him on LinkedIn. We are linked, and he posts updates periodically, and they're eye-opening, and he's very transparent with the whole project. It makes it easy to follow. So right now, 10x does have a live project. They have a debit card that you can use along with the app. So if you have the card and you have your smartphone, you can actually use that card anywhere that accepts Visa, which is pretty much everywhere, and it allows you to spend your cryptocurrency on the fly. It pretty much just as soon as you swipe it, it converts it to fiat and gives that fiat to the merchant wherever you're using it, and then there you go, you buy your product. Now it's not available in the United States right now. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that most of the people that tune into this live stream are probably from the United States, and it's not live here just yet. I think they're still trying to work out regulation and try to talk to some of the lawmakers and make sure they don't put their foot in the wrong door at the wrong time and it doesn't end up biting them in the butt. So they're being smart and um, they're, they're taking the necessary steps to make sure that they don't do something that's going to end up being negative for not shareholders but coin holders. Um, so when that does happen, though, they are looking at taking it live in the United States. If that does happen, 10x is going to blow up. It's going to be stupid. So cross my fingers and hoping for that day. I don't know if it'll be near term or long term. Pretty confident in the project though, so I don't really care either way. I'm just going to hold it. And there's talk amongst especially some of the Bitcoin and crypto critics, but also among even some of my close friends who really are strong supporters of Bitcoin. There is talk that this current rally um, is actually a false bear run, or I'm sorry, a false bull run, and that's a possibility. I've already addressed this in some of my other live streams. It's a possibility, but I don't know. In the event that it is, we still have the 100-day moving average right here. It's going to provide us with a little bit of support. We still have that $3,000 psychological threshold. It already established itself as a pretty rock solid technical support point, as we already bounced off of it once, and that's how we saw this insane rally. I mean, that's 3,000 right there. So pretty much a hard bounce all the way back up to $3,800. The reason for that, let's go back over here. I've talked about this numerous times on all my live streams, but I'm assuming that not many of my Facebook followers have migrated over to YouTube, so I'm covering it all over again. Um, so this right here, this is the June high, and this is the July high. Those previous resistance points are now converted to support, along with the actual psychological threshold there of $3,000. And then on top of that, you have so this right here was a 38% pullback from June to July. And this right here, it ended up being about a 40% pullback. It was just a little bit worse than the one we saw earlier this year. But um, the convergence there is that retrace point along with the $3,000 psychological level and all the support underlying it makes it pretty difficult for us to actually break through that $3,000 support. So even if this is a false bull run here, I'm not worried about it. I think we're still going to hold 3,000. I'm pretty positive, and I am going to put my money where my mouth is, and uh, and go ahead and buy some more because I wasn't able to this last time. Um, I was at work when it happened, and then I looked back up, and we had already come back to like 3,300, and at that point I was like, well, maybe it'll go down. I don't know what's going to happen. And then it went up to 38, and I missed out. So, I mean, I did buy it when we first went down to 3,200. That's when I bought. We went up a little bit and then down to 3,000. That was when I really wanted to pour my like entire life savings into it. It would have paid off, but I wasn't able to. Anyways, back to the live market. Let's see. All right, so we made it almost back to 3,800 yet again, and we did not pass that level. I don't know what the deal is. Why 3,800 is such a key resistance level. Apparently, I don't see it. I don't see it in the technicals. I mean, all the closest thing I can find is the 50-day moving average right there, and that is almost up at 4,000 now. It's like 39.52. So I don't know why 3,800 is such a tall obstacle for us to hurdle, but apparently it is. All right, for the new viewers, I'm gonna go back to cryptoanswers.net. This is the site that I'm working um, with the editor in chief there, Alan Steinberg. I work with him, great guy. But anyways, this is our most recent article. It's an interview that we did with the CEO of um, Digital Town. His name is Robert Monster, and he's right in the middle of a smart cities project. Um, I also uploaded this on my YouTube stream or on my YouTube channel, so you can find it there if you're interested. Check that out. It's a pretty interesting project. Could be promising moving forward. It just kind of depends on how the initial rollout goes. It's going to be going live along with an airdrop. They're going to be airdropping their new currency based on the blockchain, obviously, here at the beginning of 2018. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I can't believe I didn't mention this before. We uploaded this yesterday. This is a headline talking about how Google, Apple, Microsoft, Mozilla, as well as Samsung and Facebook are all um, working on integrating specifically Bitcoin payment methods into their browsers. So I talked about this on our Facebook stream last night a little bit. It sounds like the way this is going to work is you go up here, maybe click a little doodad. You'll be able to find your wallet there. Click it, you bring it up, and then you can see all your currencies that are stored there, right? It's a digital wallet, just like you use on Coinbase or whatever. Now, it might not be as secure as, say, a cold storage wallet, but we'll just see what they have to offer as far as security. But anyways, this is pretty big. It's not going to happen immediately, but at least the project has begun. And as a matter of fact, it what's the wording they used? It moved from like potential to like in progress, right? So they have developers working on this right now, and they're trying to roll it out as soon as possible. But so all those companies, Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc., they're all working within this organization, the W3C, and that stands for the World Wide Web Consortium. So, I mean, it's a browser API that they've already designed. They're going to be using that to hopefully bring this to the market. I don't know exactly what the timeline is there, but the sooner the better, in my opinion. I think this is a pretty exciting development. I'm surprised that there have not been more headlines. I've only seen maybe two headlines. There's the cryptoanswers.net headline, and then I saw one other. But anyways, there's links all through here where you can actually you can follow them and actually research the project yourself. So, I mean, sure, read this article. I think I summarized it pretty well. But there's a breakdown of the whole project from top to bottom. If you check out this link right here, the payment request API, there's a lot to be learned there. Anyways, so I did talk about how this might not be the best thing for cryptocurrency. I mean, it has the potential to bring Bitcoin completely mainstream as a payment method. I mean, this is kind of what we've all been waiting for, right? We want to be able to use Bitcoin at Amazon, at every online marketplace that is massive. Like we want to be able to use it for absolutely anything we want, and that's what this is going to enable. So that's pretty cool. Now, is that a good thing? I don't know. I mean, yes, it's going to lead to mass adoption, but no, in the respect that it's going to serve to centralize all these decentralized currencies within these mainstream browsers, right? So Google and Mozilla, they're going to have the power all over again. And I'm not sure that I'm completely comfortable with that. But again, we'll have to see how they end up rolling this out. Maybe I'm off base and it won't be that way. Who knows? But I did mention some alternatives. There are some decentralized internet browsers. There are some decentralized um, what's this called? I'm completely brain farting right now. Anyways, you can this stuff is in the alpha test or alpha testing phase. It's not live yet, but eventually there soon will be browsers that you can use that offer alternatives to just Google Chrome and the mainstream stuff. So it'll be hopefully those projects are successful. Most of them already offer coins, and if the project is successful, the coin's going to take off. There'll be a lot of money to be made. I don't know. It's still kind of a gamble. I think the risk is pretty high, so I'm not messing with that right now. Bitcoin flat since we last checked. Ethereum down a little bit, just under 270 now. Let's see what else we can find to talk about. Ripple, that's still probably a pretty attractive price for Ripple. It ran up to 30 cents not too long ago. Um, that was on news. I think it had to do with Swell. There's going to be a convention here coming up in October where some very important people basically get together and talk about Ripple and what the future of Ripple is going to be moving forward. And when I say big names, I mean huge names like what's his name? Not Alan Greenspan. Who was the Fed chairman? Ben Bernanke. Ben Bernanke is going to head that meeting. It's called Swell. So, anyways, if you guys didn't already know, Ripple is actually pretty much controlled by the banks. They own 70%, or I think it's the Ripple company that owns 70% of Ripple, and that's good. And then it gives them an incentive to continue to develop the project. The more it takes off, the more money they make. So that's a huge incentive for them to maintain and continue this project. But they're working pretty close, pretty hand in hand with the big banks. I'm gonna go ahead and break this down in its entirety. I've done this like 2 or 3 times before on Facebook live streams, but I think this is a new audience that I'm talking to here. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down. So here's what Ripple is intended to do. It enables you to basically do cross-border transactions. So if you're sitting down in front of a computer in the United States, you can easily transact with someone on the opposite side of the world in China, Japan, Korea, it doesn't matter. And you don't need to convert your currency into their native currency to do it. All you need to do is have Ripple, and you can use that. So basically, who's using this right now and who it was intended for, the target audience is the banks, right? So if you are familiar with the system called the fractional reserve lending system, then you already know what I'm talking about. What that is there's legislation passed. I think this was after the financial crisis, but it's some BS, honestly. It allows banks to lend out money in a 10-to-1 ratio. So just as an example, let's say you have $1,000, you want it kept safe, you want it securely kept for you. You don't want to just put it under your bed. So you go to a bank, you deposit it in the bank. So now the bank has your $1,000, and they're going to pay you like 0.001% interest or something completely stupid. But then they're going to lend it out 10-to-1. So for every $1,000 you deposit, they can lend out $10,000. Now they are required to maintain that ratio, that 10-to-1 ratio. So if you deposit your 1,000 and everyone else, let's say a whole bunch of other people withdraw, or they deposit more than you do, and then all of a sudden they withdraw like a massive amount of money. Well, that's going to bring that bank below the 10-to-1 mandate, below the 10-to-1 ratio. So in order to comply with federal regulation now, they got to scramble and find some funds to keep them legal. So what they do is they ping all these other banks all over the world, and they're like, "Hey, do you have excess funds? We need to borrow them overnight." And there's an interest rate that governs all these overnight rates. Um, so as it happens now, I mean, maybe a bank in South Korea is like, "Hey, we have some extra funds. We've been doing pretty well. Yeah, we'll lend you these funds overnight. Give them back to us first thing in the morning." So that's what happens, and then we pay a fee to hold their money overnight. But anyways, it's difficult because you have to take your American dollars, exchange them for Korean won, and then there's a transaction fee involved or an exchange fee involved, right? With Ripple, there's not. It's cheap, it's fast, and you don't have to convert your currency into theirs. You just hold the Ripple. You do it that way. So it's made that process much easier for the banks. But with that in mind, it kind of defeats the purpose of most of these other currencies being decentralized. It defeats the whole movement. So I don't know if you make money off of Ripple, in my opinion, it's blood money. But then again, money is money. Another thing that's interesting about Ripple, I have heard this. I read some articles claiming that it was true, but I'm not. It might just be rumor or hearsay. Apparently, Ripple can actually freeze funds. So the one of the biggest benefits of decentralized currencies is that nobody can freeze them, right? Like the uh, the American dollar is. I mean, we have so much power. Like all these other countries, they transact in the American dollar. If they want to buy um, oil, they have to have American dollars in order to buy that oil. So we have so much power that we can actually stop them from using our currency. And when that happens, it completely crushes our economy. So we're trying to get away from that with all these decentralized currencies. And with Ripple, we're right back where we started. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, moving on. All right, so IOTA. I talked about this 2 streams ago. Um, all right, okay, I mentioned 10x was my top pick. I can't decide between IOTA and 10x. I like IOTA because of Tangle. The Tangle network is their proof type, right? It's their proof system, and it's amazing. They completely forego the need for miners by um, transforming the people that are actually doing the transactions into miners themselves. So if you want to make a transaction using your IOTA, you can do it. It's cheap. IOTA is like trying to become the king of microtransactions. It's going to be almost free. But in order to make a transaction, you have to verify 2 other transactions. So that's your whole proof system right there. And what this does, um, it almost enables IOTA to scale infinitely because the more people that use it, the more people are verifying these transactions. So yeah, like I said, almost infinite scalability there. And that's pretty huge. That's pretty awesome. Um, really, that's all you need to know that IOTA is awesome. So between IOTA and 10x, those are my 2 favorite altcoins. If I had to pick a third, man, I don't know. It would have to be between like maybe Dash, uh, maybe Civic. I don't know. Really, it's all about the top 2 there. Still no movement in the markets. Ethereum's holding 270, 271 there. Looks like they're okay. They're up more than twice what Bitcoin is today. So it looks like they're outpacing Bitcoin. Finally, I'm not gonna be as wrong. All right. I completely forgot to check the comment section. Does anyone have any questions, any comments? Looks like no. No biggie. I completely forgot to change the headline of this live stream. I just realized. That's unfortunate. What do we want to call this? Is it too late? Um, All right. I don't even know if that's going to update, but at least we tried, right? At least we tried. Let's see what else I can find on our homepage here, cryptoanswers.net. Actually, you know what? Let's go to cryptopanic.com. I don't know if you guys have checked this out before. Pretty awesome resource for fetching real-time headlines from all over the internet. Let's see what we have here. Looks like nothing interesting. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow for some of these hot. Oh wait, SegWit. Nah, it's old news. We're all about SegWit 2x at this point. What else? What else? What else? Yep. I don't know if for anyone who is brand new to this stream, welcome. Uh, feel free to. Oh wait, we have our first question. Cragger Files is his name. Did you get a chance to look into? Oh my goodness, Ubique. All right, so here's my notes. They're still here. I looked into some of them, and no, your coin, UBIQ, Ubique, still on the list. All right, dude, I'm gonna make it up to you right now. We're gonna research it together, and then I'll give you my opinion. Ubique crypto. All right, I apologize. I told you I was gonna have that unlock, and I didn't. No excuse, honestly. That's some BS. Oh, okay. I did preliminary research because I recognize this. That's right. Okay, I did look into this. I did look into this. All right, so it's trying to be basically Ethereum in a nutshell, right? Decentralized platform that allows the creation and implementation of smart contracts, just like Ethereum, and decentralized applications, just like Ethereum. It's built upon an Ethereum code base, and it's going to have its own blockchain that acts as a large globally distributed ledger and supercomputer, allowing developers to create decentralized and automated solutions. All right, so that's right. Okay, I did look into this. It pretty much seems like an Ethereum copycat. I think the effect, more than anything, is going to be it'll probably boost Ethereum in a small way. This is just one more use for Ethereum because it's going to be based off the Ethereum blockchain. Um, but I was looking into some other startups today. There are some coins and some companies that are developing essentially what's the word I'm looking for? Prototypes. They're coming up with they're going to have like 50 prototypes to choose from, like different app prototypes. So if you want an app that will allow you to make recurring payments, right now that's impossible. You can't do it with cryptocurrency, like using your Bitcoin or anything. You have to manually make these payments one at a time because there's no way for them to like utilize your information to to save your information and make those payments. But you can create a decentralized app to do it on the Ethereum blockchain. And basically, what they're going to do is a template. That's the word I was looking for. They're creating templates for like all of the different application uses they can come up with. And what you're going to be able to do is for I think a couple of dollars, go in and buy their template, and then you can launch your own. I don't know if you can launch an ICO off of these templates, but you can certainly launch your own app. You can set up recurring payments. You can implement that app in your into your website to allow other people to make recurring payments to you instead of using a credit card. Now they're going to be able to use their Bitcoin or whatever altcoin of their choice. So, anyways, I say all of that to say that I mean UBIQ is already behind Ethereum, and there are other projects that I think are going to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Revolutionary. I don't really see anything special in UBIQ. Nothing that's cool enough to warrant me investing my capital in it. So that's my breakdown. I don't know. Do you have a position in Ubiq? I'm kind of curious. If so, then I don't want to be bashing your coin here. That's just kind of my honest opinion. But so Ethereum's back up. It's now up almost 9%. It's about to triple Bitcoin now, at least in the daily uptick. So that's good. We're looking good. Ethereum back down to $20. It's down while the broader market is up. I think Neo's still feeling the pain from China there. Not a surprise. Good question though, Krager. I apologize I wasn't able to answer it sooner, and hopefully that was satisfactory to you. I went to research Civic as well. I know it's a not a privacy coin, but it's very similar. I didn't end up doing the research there. Let me go ahead and delete Ubic from my yeah, Civic is still on my research list. I'm gonna try a little bit harder to find Japan takes market share from China Bitcoin. Let's see if this will pull up the article I was talking about earlier. Yes, this might be it. The title here is Japan becomes the largest Bitcoin market as traders leave China. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, holy cow. Japan has once again become the largest Bitcoin exchange market with 50.75% market share of the global Bitcoin exchange market. That's huge. They've surpassed the US. Okay, this is the picture I saw earlier. There's Japan coming in with 51.33% market share. Apparently, it's even up from there now. The US is at just under 30% there. And then China, all right, this is a slightly different picture than I saw earlier. It was down to 5%. Now it's at 6.3%. So China is not as significant. Well, it's still number three. It's still number three. So as you can see, China has not shut down all transactions within China. I mean, some of the exchanges are still open. I think they have until the end of September to halt their services. Actually, this is saying they're granted leeway to operate until the end of October. I've heard both figures. I don't even know which one to believe. The end of October. That's probably right. Cointelegraph is usually pretty on point with their research. But anyways, so yeah, with China leaving the market, it's not as big of a deal as they were thinking initially. Um, all of that trading volume was not lost; it was just transferred over to Japan. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, that feels good. I feel like that's a victory for the crypto community. Pretty awesome. Looks like Korea is number 4 overall with 5%. Then we have the euro, Australian dollar, and then a bunch of currencies that I don't even recognize. USD Tether is number 10. So essentially, the US dollar has two currencies in the top 10 there. Interesting. All right, Krager has another comment. I don't have a position. He's answering my question. I thought with the amount of coins available and being new, the Ethereum-like platform and trading on Bittrex, that it could easily bring in 10 times your investment. Let's see. What I did not research is where it's at right now. I don't even know the current price. 163. It's up 5.6% today. So Ethereum today is outpacing it. I think Ethereum also poses less risk. So I mean, you're you're hoping for maybe a 10 times return on your investment, and that's a possibility, definitely a possibility. I don't really know. However, there's a lot of risk involved in a startup like this, whereas Ethereum, everything is being based on Ethereum these days, even Ubic, right? Even this currency we're talking about. So there's very low risk associated with Ethereum. It's not going to just fail. It has so many different uses. It's incredible. With Ubic, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I think the risk is too high. Looking at the recent price action, spike up, spike down, spike up, spike down, highly volatile. So this should actually probably be a pretty attractive day trade mechanism. You might be able. It is pretty low right now. It is pretty low right now. The recent low is 139. It's back up to 163. Yeah, that actually might be worth trying to just make a quick buck. You know what I mean? And actually, yeah, I might try that just with a small amount of capital, see how it goes. Interesting. So the circulating supply, I like this. It's actually very low, 38 million. Not as low as Bitcoin, but compared to maybe Ripple with 100 billion, 38 million seems pretty low. It's a 67th overall with a market cap of 62 million, and the volume is actually pretty decent, $819,000. That's not bad. Not bad. All right, Bitcoin's back up to 3,800 and Ethereum is at 276, going strong, still going up. Boom, up 10% today. Dude, come on, this could be it. I hope we run up to that $4,000 threshold and it makes this exciting. I really, really do. We'll just have to see. All right, Alan, what'd you say? I told you, bro, we're like ghosts, nothing is stopping us. Dude, I know, I know. Um, it really does seem like that. That makes me feel like we're, like you said, unstoppable. Pretty awesome. It's a victory for the community. I hope other people are smart enough to recognize that. Um, I mean, so I think both of you have been listening to my live streams for the past couple of nights, it seems like. And I mentioned that this China phase is going to be fleeting. All right, it's not going to be here forever. I mean, the news are not isn't going to be here forever. For one thing, we'll move on, but eventually they're going to legalize exchanges and stuff. They're not going to ban it forever because it's a positive thing for the economy. It's a positive thing for China. So I think they're just trying to get a grip on it, like I've already said before, and then they'll end up reopening the market. And imagine what happens when that does happen. I mean, we're going to see a pretty big boost to the crypto market, I'm sure. But obviously, it's going to be temporary. I don't know why people are freaking out so much. Still climbing. Now we are up straight up 10%. So that's good to see. Ooh, oh, right. Okay, so Alan, this is actually something that you just showed me. It's called whaleClub.co. I started looking at it just briefly. I have not signed up yet. It looks like what this is similar to other platforms that I use um, for trading foreign exchange. Uh, the main similarity I see is where was it? Is the ability to trade on margin. Okay, leverage. There you go. Access up to 200 times leverage for your trades. Now the difference is they're trying to kind of capitalize on the whole blockchain movement, right? They allow you to deposit your digital currency, so you can use your Bitcoin or whatever. Um, let's see, it accepts Bitcoin Dash just the two right now, it looks like. But then you'll be able to. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of investment vehicles. There's stocks, bonds, metals, forex, and cryptocurrency. Interesting. The thing is, I don't think you're really transacting in crypto. I think you're still transacting in US dollars. Everything here, all the volume is in US dollars. 30-day volume, that's quite a bit actually. But it's all US dollars. So it's allowing you to deposit your crypto, but not really utilize it. Only deposit it. Oh, wait, what is this? Okay, never mind. I thought there was some sort of like daily payout, like similar to BitConnect or something, but that's not how that works. It's explaining the leverage. I mean, yeah, what leverage does is if you use the max leverage there, it's going to be multiplying your risk, but also multiplying your reward by 200. So if you start using leverage, that's when it gets pretty risky. You can lose a lot of money so fast. I mean, really got to be careful. Yeah. That's pretty interesting, but I don't think you can actually use your crypto. You're just going to deposit it and it'll convert it to US dollars for you, basically. There's a new headline here. Nothing of interest. I'll keep this article up. Might have to reference it later. That's awesome, man. Japan with over 50% of the worldwide trade there. Holy moly! Wow, Ethereum's up to 280 now, up 11% on the day. This is looking good, man. I bought in at 230, so we're up $50 since I bought it. Holy crap, man! That's $1,000 right there. That's not bad. Not bad. I've had faith in Ethereum all along, and now it's outpacing Bitcoin. This could be it. This could be redemption right here. I also bought some Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, Litecoin, but it's lagging behind even Bitcoin. It's only up 2.5%. That's disappointing. Litecoin is already using the Lightning Network to an extent. Um, it's actually better technology. The transactions are faster, I think a little bit cheaper, and the scalability is better with Litecoin. So that's why we saw the run up to 90, the shallow 90s. And I'm not sure why it's struggling to keep pace right now. Even Neo's back in the green right now. All right, I think we're about to see a pretty nice run up. I really do. We we finally broke 3,800 Bitcoin. We couldn't for the longest time. We just did. Awesome. We've gained 0.5% in the past 30 seconds on Ethereum. We just exceeded 280. Do you ever use World Coin Index? For me, it offers more info than CoinMarketCap. No, never even heard of it. I'll check it out. World Coin Index. Oh, another interesting thing to note is that CoinMarketCap just recently became it encroached on the top 400 most used websites in the entire world, in the entire internet. So that's pretty interesting. A lot of people use CoinMarketCap. But let's see what we have here with World Coin Index. Crypto market cap. Let's see how close it compares. 134. Let's refresh this. So there we are, 128 billion. I refresh it. It didn't even change. What the heck? So that's interesting. CoinMarketCap is showing the overall crypto cap at 128 billion, and then World Coin Index is showing it at 135 billion. One thing I have noticed about CoinMarketCap is that it's kind of slow to update. This looks like more of a real-time asset here. At first glance, I like World Coin Index. I actually do like it a lot. See if it refreshes instantly. Yeah, okay, so, interesting. Let me check out 10x using this website. There we go. It's up 5.5% to 220. Hell yeah, keep on going. All right. Well, other than the excitement over the market finally going up, which is kind of a big deal, I got pretty much nothing. So definitely open to questions. We've been holding steady at four watchers, four live viewers the whole time. I'm thinking it might be the same people, so I don't want to just go over the same stuff. It's easier on Facebook. Like there's so many people that come in and out of the stream. I kind of just rehash the same topics over and over because it's new to the newcomers. It seems to work out, but without that kind of volume on YouTube, since we don't have the same follower base on YouTube, it doesn't seem to be. I don't want to bore you guys to death and just keep covering the same topics. I've already talked about this. We're going to be interviewing the CEO of this company, Ivarium, I guess it's pronounced. We're going to be trying to interview at least one company or one CEO per week. We'll choose from companies that pretty much anyone in the fintech community or the blockchain community, anything having to do with cryptocurrency or fintech. That's who we're going to be looking to interview. So we have a couple possible people lined up right now, but it looks like next up is going to be the Ivarium CEO. There you go. There's an update for you. Ethereum up 11.3%. Hell yeah. You're saying the charts are better. Let's see. Let's pull one up. Let's pull one up for 10x. Oh, Alan says he's sharing to more pages. Thank you very much. Hopefully we can get some more viewers and some more interaction here. By the way, Krager, thank you for asking questions and hooking me up with this new website. I do like it, definitely. I like it as of now. Yeah, this is way better actually. Is there a way to add like moving averages and some of those technical tools? Website Explorer, discussion, home, trending overview. Tools, there you go. Hmm. I mean, if it had the ability to add some of those like moving averages and stuff, I'd be sold. Because right now I use either Bitfinex or Bittrex. Um, I like both of those. What is this? I don't see a way to use the tools. Oh, it lets you know what exchanges the coin trades on. That's good information too. That's good info. I like it. Even integrates some market news there. Scam warning. I read an article today that said that some like 10% of all of the money that's been brought in by all these NCOs, I'm sorry, ICOs, 10% of it has gone to criminals essentially because there's so many scams out there and you just have to be careful. I've actually never partaken in any ICOs. I just think it's too risky. I'm not in touch with anyone's social media stuff. Like I don't really use Twitter at all, um, any of that. So I feel like I'd be one of those guys that gets taken advantage of. I prefer to sort of at least feel out the launch. I mean, sometimes the launch will be completely botched, and that'll be a foreshadowing of the entire program. You know what I mean? Because if it's a good development team, they're not going to let it fail from the beginning. So if they can launch it successfully, then I think that's a good indication that it'll be a good program. So I'm not too much into the ICOs. All right, Ethereum seeing a modest pullback now. Now we're only up 10%, but still not bad. Not bad. Let's see what that did to our moving average. So we still didn't quite hit the moving average. We're still below it. 39.52 is now the 50-day there. Like I said, if we said 99% of over-the-counter stocks are scams, and it's better off doing the like the penny altcoins and penny stocks. And I would agree. You're right. There is a better chance. Yep. IOTA's still looking pretty good right now. It's up 14%. Should have put my damn money where my mouth was and bought some. Feeling kind of like an idiot right now. Ethereum's doing pretty good though. Almost keeping pace. Hopefully we'll go to bed tonight, wake up tomorrow, and we'll be up in the 4,000s. That's what I'm hoping for. Ooh, this could be interesting. I also told you guys I was going to do some more research on BISC and give you like a full breakdown. I haven't done that yet. I haven't connected any other accounts, so that'll have to wait until a later time. We owe the Fed so much money, and it's disturbing. I can't believe it. All right. Well, I don't want to bore you guys to death, so I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream. For those of you that did tune in, thank you very much, especially Alan. Thanks for the help. And Cracker Files, thank you very much. Always good to have you guys with us. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and close this down. Um, who knows when the next live stream will be? Probably a couple days. I know we're going to be sitting tight on Facebook at least for a couple days. Maybe another YouTube stream in the near future. We'll have to see. But yeah, you guys have a good night. Wishing you good health and good fortune per the usual. Peace.